Greetings, Midcoast Ukers. Jeff Weinberger coming at you here with a new song tutorial. This is a brand new one. Usually when I do these tutorials for you, they're songs that we've done in the past, oldies but goodies, ones that we plan on doing at our jam sessions. But this is a brand new one. We had our maiden voyage of this song yesterday at our jam session at John Monroe's, and it went pretty well. It's a really great song. It's a favorite of mine, and most of the group has voted in the affirmative for the song, so I think we are going to add it to our jam list. And it is Up on the Roof by the Drifters. It's a great song. They did it in A flat, which of course is a non-ukulele friendly key. I decided to just take it down a half step, which wouldn't put it too far out of the range of the original, and we'll do it in G. If there's major objections, if people cannot sing it in G, then it's okay. We'll figure out a different key. There's lots of options. Our song sheet that's up on the site right now, it's just a very rough song sheet that John so kindly uploaded, but it's in the key of C, so don't let that throw you. We're going to be doing it hopefully in G if all goes as planned. It's very easy as far as chords go. It was a early 60s tune. It kind of borrows a lot from the 50s, you know, the doo-wop 50s, written by Carole King and her husband of the time, Jerry Goffin. They were working out of the Brill Building in New York City, where a lot of songwriters were holed up and wrote some of the hits of the day. But Goff and King, they were huge. They had many, many, many songs that made the charts, and this being one of them. So when you listen to the song, one thing you'll notice about it is it has this particular line in it. And I was playing that on my ukulele. I was going try to capture that. That's simply the notes in the key of G here. The notes E and D. I believe it's a marimba or possibly a vibraphone that played that line. But anyway, that's just an incidental thing that you can add to the song. But if you want just the basic chords, as I was saying, they use a basic doo-wop chord progression of G, E minor, C, and then there's a little bit of variation for the next measure to make life simple. When you see the new song sheet, as soon as we produce it, you'll see 2 beats of A minor and 2 beats of D. That's a good way to deal with the complicated chord that the Drifters put there, or whoever arranged that particular session for the Drifters. They put a chord there called C/D, C over D. That means C with D in the bass. We don't do bass notes on our ukulele generally, so we would probably play and substitute for that C/D chord. We just do A minor and D, 2 beats apiece. Another way to do it would be a D sus4 chord, but even that might get a little complicated. So to keep our lives simple, 2 beats of A minor, 2 beats of D, done. Good way to get around that. So just to really make these chord progressions super clear, I'm going to show you. It's G, E minor, C, then A minor, D, back to G. So those are the only chords you really need to know for this. There are a lot of things going on. If you listen to the Drifters version, there's a little bit of triangle in there. There's marimba and or xylophone, vibraphone. There's trumpets, there's strings, there's the background vocals. There's an awful lot going on, even though back then the recording methods were a little crude, and you can hear a couple of little glitches under rehearsed background vocals and just poorly recorded background vocals, but very well performed. I mean, these guys could sing, but whoever was capturing them on the mic, they kind of didn't get a good balance. But these days we're a little more picky about those things. But all in all, we're going to boil this down. We're going to take a very complex arrangement with a lot of instruments and singing and boil it down to something pretty simple. That's how Midcoast Ukes usually rolls. We don't try to do each and every detail. But that was one of the details that I threw in there. In my own part, I like to do that line. Ding, 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 ding. Boom, ding, 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 ding. I like to throw that in. So if you want to do that, that's up to you. It's the notes E and D added to a G chord. And then we have a bridge. So there's verses and bridges, pretty much. There's an instrumental later. That's just going to be a verse. It's going to be a single verse. And there's an ending. So the song doesn't have, not only does it not have complicated chords, but the form, the parts of the song are easy. It's pretty much verses and bridges, more or less. Let's see, what else do I need to tell you? Well, let's go over the bridge. The bridge involves a C chord on the roof. Dun, 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 dun. C chord for 4 measures. But then finally, dun 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 dun. Let me tell you now. So C, G, E minor, C, and D are the chords you're going to need for the bridge. All right, let's take it from the top and talk about exactly how to play it. First, you're going to need a strum, and the calypso strum will get you through. So many Drifter songs take well to the calypso strum. They always had that Latin influence in their music, being from New York City possibly. That's a reason why early 60s New York Latin music was huge. It was all over the boroughs of New York City, and so that's possibly where this influence crept in. But to have that Latin feel, yeah, the calypso strum might do. Now, how do you deal with the calypso strum when you have more than one chord in a measure, like the 4th measure of this verse? Well, you would split it up. So you would have down, down, up on A minor, and then up, down, up on D. Normally, that would be 1 chord on the calypso strum in A minor, but if you're splitting it up, it would be so down, down, up, down, up. Yeah, down, down, up, down, up, and you change on the up. This song also being kind of Latin, it lends itself to that kind of drag strum technique that you can do with your fingers, known as a rasgueado in flamenco music, or you can just take your thumb and drag it across to enhance your calypso strum. Or your index finger can do that. So basically it boils down to easy chords, easy form, easy arrangement, easy strum, calypso strum. All right, so let's breeze on through the tune here. We have 2 bars for an intro. And the verse kicks in right there after 2 bars. When this old world starts getting me down, and people are just too much for me to face. So that first half of the verse is fairly straight ahead. It has 2 bars of G at the end. So it's going to go, you'll be able to read your song sheet, so you won't need me to narrate it, but just in case, G for a measure, E minor for a measure, C for a measure, A minor, and D split the 4th measure, and then you have 2 measures of G at the end. Stay on G for 2 measures until the singing comes back in. And then we just do all of that again, and there's your verse. The bridge, it goes, on the roof it's peaceful as can be. Let me tell you now. So that was C. Keep on C for a really long time. But now we have G minor, and now stop on D. Let me tell you now. So that D chord, we hit it on 1 single strum, and we cut it off and have a big old rest for 3 beats so that the singer can go, let me tell you now. They do that while there's no music under them, kind of a cappella there. So that's an important arrangement feature that we'll try to have on the song sheet, but I'm telling you verbally right now that that's how we'll probably do it. After that, after we finish that bridge, we do another verse. That second verse, by the way, that has some echo voices in it, that they add voices that sing up on the roof after the line. So, for instance, in verse 2 we have, when I come home feeling tired and beat, I go up where the air is fresh and sweet up on the roof. So that's the other part. That's the background vocal part. Up on the roof. And I'm sure some of you who are more confident singers will take on that responsibility. You'll be the background vocalists, the harmony people that do that. Up on the roof. So that's a little bit of what could be called echo voices or call and response. But here's how it works again. We have when I come home feeling tired and beat, I go up where the air is fresh and sweet up on the roof. I get away from the hustling crowds and all that rat race noise down in the street up on the roof. So it continues to echo. I think that takes place for the rest of the song. They don't do it in the first verse, so I'd like our arrangement to not do it in the first verse. All right. So Joey thinks it's time to start playing the song. I think I agree with that. Let's actually play through the song. Here we go. One verse and a bridge. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. When this old world starts getting me down, people are just too much for me to face. I climb all night to the top of the stairs, and all my cares just drift into space. Bridge. On the roof, it's peaceful as can be. And there a world below can't bother me. Let me tell you now. And then we would hit verse 2 there with the echo voices. All right, so this is your first page. That kind of takes you through the first page. Let's talk about the second page of this arrangement. So next, we have a second bridge. After that second verse comes a second bridge. Works exactly the same way as the first bridge with the stop in it. The stop being, of course, let's see. On the roof's the only place I know where you just have to wish to make it so. Up on the... So that's the stop. We could probably just do a single strum there, although in the Drifters they kind of do a cha-cha-cha thing. They go right there. We'll see. We don't maybe need to even get that elaborate. We'll probably just do a single strum at that point, at least for now. All right, so after that comes an instrumental. After that bridge comes an instrumental. We just play through the verse. So we just, the strings take over there and they have trumpets and everything. But we'll just probably just go. Now that leads to a third bridge. At night the stars put on a show for free, and darling, you can share it all with me. I keep telling you. So that's the third bridge. And then we have a third verse. Right smack dab in the middle of town, I found a paradise that's trouble-proof up on the roof. And this old world starts getting you down. There's room enough for two up on the roof, up on the roof. And that leads to our ending. So that last part is room enough for two up on the G, A minor, G, E minor, G, E minor, and end on G. And that's our ending. I'm going to go over that again. So, there's room enough for two up on the roof. We have one of those famous Jeff Weinberger ritardando endings there, where you just kind of slow down and Just everybody hits that last G chord together. All right, so there's only a couple little details more to go over, and that's that there is an ascending string line that's really nice in the bridge section. I know these details don't matter to everybody, or they're just not, something you might necessarily want to play. But if you did want to play that string line that climbs up, that makes the bridges so nice, we would need a couple additional chords. So we would need C, C6, C major 7, C. So that captures that line that that climbs up. C, C6, C major 7, back to C. That would add some nice variety to it. So those aren't too terribly hard, those chords. C, C6, open chord, C major 7, one finger chord. You guys can probably handle that. So that would take the place of the string line, that ascending string line. I think that'd be nice. All right, and one last detail, not about this arrangement of the song and our version of it, but just know that James Taylor has a really cool version that he did in 1979, almost 1980. But James Taylor's version is definitely worth listening to. It's very different from the Drifters' original. Captures a lot of the same flavor and it's faithful to the tune, but there's some very cool chords that he adds to it, and just little things, just little James Taylorisms on his guitar. So I highly encourage you to listen to that. All right, Joey's had enough, so I should probably end this video at this point. He's my director of these videos. He tells me when it's time to cut it off. So I will catch you all later. Bye-bye, Midcoast Ukers.